we're talking about DiSC certification. Why should people get DiSC certified? First off, what is DiSC?
Uh, Oh, I'm not even going to explain that. I mean,
I sent one of the clips to my girl Deanna that I met in Sedona. She was my aura reader
yeah.
and we just vibed. And so I started following her on Instagram. Anyway, we're social media DM besties. And so I sent her a clip and she's like, what does the S and the C mean? Because we were talking about the lower half of the circle being slower to make decisions. And I was like, girl, that's DiSC on the DiSC map. And it's like, so, okay, so whenever we start talking about these things, we kind of have to back up and set the foundation and set the stage on what we do and why we love to do it.
What is DiSC?
DiSC is a great way to understand yourself and other people. It highlights the differences in our behavior. It highlights why I am the way I am, why I like change, why I like to move faster pace, why I like to work alone sometimes, why I might kind of hover on decisions. It helps me know that A, I'm not alone, and it helps me grow because I then learn how to take steps to bridge the gap
Yeah.
between myself and other people.
And here's what I would say. I would sum it up by saying it is the single best thing you can do to understand human behavior. Your own, which is kind of self-awareness, right? To dial up your self-awareness, which we all know is like critical if you want to get anywhere in life. And then to really understand the behavior of everyone around you, whether it's in your personal life or your work life. And to use that information to connect better with everybody. And who doesn't want to do that? I mean, I talk about this in the certification class. Think about somebody who you know who is really good at connecting with everybody. Well, chances are either A, they do it naturally, or B, they've learned the basics of human behavior through some kind of a process or system and have used that knowledge to connect better with folks. So that's how I would describe it. And why get certified? So here's my own experience. I was thinking back in my career, and as you can see, my gray hair, I've had a fairly long runway in my career. So DiSC, I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking, what are the top 2 or 3 or 4 things that I've learned in my career that have stuck with me and I can look back on and say, these were the difference makers. So here they are. Here are the 3 things. Number 1, early in my career, I learned how to create a strategic business plan. I had a job in a different company where that was part of the job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to create a strategic plan for this company. I have no idea. And so I learned how to do it through a formal class and then a couple of mentors who really helped me. And
I was going to say you Googled it.
yeah,
This
no,
is
no,
what
no.
my age
I'm
does.
yeah,
You just Google
I'm
it.
so old that Google was not even an imaginary thing back then. So
I predate
yeah,
Google.
so it was like books, stuff like that. I
Library, encyclopedias.
I was in full panic mode because I was expected to create a strategic or at least lead the planning effort for this company. And I had no clue how. And so I needed a process. And so I learned a process, and that process turned out to be a really good one. And as you know, I've used that process in working with business units and companies for my whole career. And so that one, I would say, I'd put that in my top 3 or my top 5 because it's been so valuable. Now, I don't use it that often because it doesn't, the need isn't there that often. But when it is, I know that if I use this process and apply it the way I've learned, we're going to get a great result. So that's number 1. Number 2 is decision-making skills. Once I learned all about decision-making and the tools needed to make really good decisions, whether they're formal tools like decision focus, whether they're informal tools like other things, I know that I can create a good decision outcome, whether it's a personal decision, a business decision, whether I'm doing it on my own, whether I'm working with somebody else, whether I'm helping somebody else as a consultant or a trainer or a facilitator. The decision-making skills I use frequently. So like strategic business plan skills every now and then, decision-making skills pretty often, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And which leads me to number three. And the number three thing is DiSC, about the understanding of DiSC and the understanding at a really core working person's level of behavior. DiSC was the thing. And I learned that my first time around way back in, gosh, it was 1992. So how many years ago was that? That's long, long ago. And got certified. Got certified right after that because I wanted more. I wanted to be, I don't know if I wanted to be an expert, but I wanted to know as much as I could possibly know about DiSC because it was that good. And so if you think of,
Okay, wait, hold up. Like, I remember when I started working with you and Mary back in what, 2009? Learning DiSC blew my mind. It was like the deep dive that I needed to give me permission to be myself. Be like, oh, I can't fit in a little bit of this box right here.
Yeah.
I'm like half influencing and half steadiness. I like want to be loud and proud and noticed, and I'm going to talk with my hands. That's that influencing. But I'm also going to be like steady. I kind of need a routine. I need a little bit more slower pace sometimes, and I oscillate between these two things.
Yep.
And that just was really.
and I think that's the same with almost everybody who goes through the process. The first great big aha moment is the self-awareness moment. Oh my gosh, this is why I behave the way I do, or at least here's some clues as to why I behave the way I do. And now I can start understanding and making sense out of my own behavior, which is giant, right? And then kind of the second phase is, oh my gosh, I now understand the way people around me behave, or at least have a better clue to why they're doing what they're doing. And
they're not crazy.
they're not crazy,
They're just
yeah.
different.
Yeah. They may not do things the way I want to do things, which makes them kind of crazy, but at least I understand why they're doing it, or at least I'm getting some insights. Maybe that's
Now I know why they're weird.
Yeah.
They're not weird. They're just different.
exactly. So back to my three things. So strategic planning and business planning skills, every now and then, really important. Decision-making skills, frequently, also really important. Human behavior skills through DiSC, literally every day.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And when you know it and it just like gets deep inside of you, you're able to like just walk through the store or sit at dinner with your family and you're able to pick up and people read like, oh, my dad, he's telling a story at the dinner table. He's such a high eye. He needs this attention. He needs the stage. He needs the platform.
Yes.
My mom, not want to talk to him too much. She doesn't want to entertain it as much. She's heard these stories, but she's an opposite DiSC style.
Exactly.
From my dad.
Yeah. So, and then you think about new relationships, again, whether it's work or personal, getting to know somebody. And of course, you got different motivation. At work, you're getting to know somebody because you probably have to do something with them. You probably have to be part of a team. It may be a transactional relationship in the beginning, but it may, evolve into something else, or it may have to in order for you guys to get something done. So understanding of where that person comes from behaviorally gives you a huge head start into connecting as effectively as possible with it. So yeah,
Right.
I mean,
And how do what's that thing that you say at the beginning of our workshops? Raise your hand.
oh, how many of you? Yeah. Yeah, have
Yes.
ever connected instantly with somebody, and it's like, wow, this is like, it's so easy, and we all have.
Yep.
But then we all have the other side where you're working with somebody, and I think the term I use it, the relationship didn't click, it clunked, right? Yeah, and you're going, why is this not working? Why is this so hard? Why am I spending so much energy trying to get something done with this person, and I just don't seem to get anywhere? So there could be a lot of causes, but chances are one of the main drivers is behavioral styles. And so understanding that is good. So why should somebody take that further and become certified? So I learned way early on when I got certified this phrase, once taught, twice learned. Okay. In other words, if you have the responsibility of teaching or facilitating something, you have to learn it really, really well. Or you can say you get to learn it really, really well. And so part of the kind of the takeaways from the certification is that, yeah, you're going to walk away as an expert, and we're going to make sure that you walk away as an expert. And so if your knowledge on a 1 to 10 scale right now, after having maybe gone through DiSC or experienced it as a user, maybe it's a 5 or a 6, we're going to get you to 9.5 or maybe even 10. So you're going to be an expert. And you're going to learn some unbelievably great facilitation skills that are going to serve you anywhere you go, whether you're facilitating DiSC, whether you're running meetings, whether you're facilitating something else, because we have most of a lifetime of experience with facilitation. And so, yeah, you're going to get a lot of that stuff. And this is kind of the secret sauce, I guess. We find that people who get certified in DiSC tend to ramp up in their careers maybe a little faster than others do because they've got these special skills. And they may be known as people who, wow, I can really connect with that person because she or he is so easy to work with. Well, again, chances are that person has something under the hood, behavior, knowledge-wise about behavior, that's helping them to do that. So there's a lot of great reasons to do it. Probably the final reason is they get to work with you and me, but me and you before, during, and after, and it's all online. Okay, so and we also about how many hours a week do they spend doing homework? Like 1 to 2?
Yeah, probably about 2.5 hours
Okay.
a week
Yep.
of homework.
Couple hours a
And
week.
then a 90-minute live session with Ash and Dave, and there's 4 of them, and it's hopefully the best 90 minutes of your life.
Yep. And yeah, exactly. Oh, we'll make sure it is exactly because I know you have a short attention span, so we won't be dribbling on about something while people are sleeping.
Let me pull out my bag of tricks. He's coming at me.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, in 90 minutes we get a lot done, and the pace is pretty good. And then here, the other thing is that they walk away with a complete kit of everything they need, so that when it's time to facilitate their first workshop, they don't have to do anything. I mean, I should say that they don't have to create anything. It's all been created for them. And so all they need to do is get comfortable with the material. And guess what? We do that during the workshop, during the certification. So yeah, we really kind of get you close to being totally ready to go during that time.
Right. That's one thing that I really love about the workshop is that, like, no matter how many times you teach it, it's always a little bit different based upon the team or the people who are in the room. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we've done hundreds of these workshops over the years. And so if you think about it, the content is pretty much the same every workshop. We learn about the styles. We learn about our own style. We learn about those around us. We apply that knowledge. We explore with each other what that means. And so, yeah, the workshop is, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40% education and 60 or 70% application. So the great takeaways come because you're there with your team, you're exploring this stuff together, you're making those connections, and you're learning how to basically be better together in what you do, not just behaviorally or relationally, but that translates to output too. And so you're going to get more done.
Would you recommend this for new teams just getting to know each other, or would you recommend like waiting a little while, waiting like 6 months or a year, or 5 years?
So now you're not talking about the certification, you're talking about just the DiSC training itself?
Yeah. And even as a facilitator, you'll get these questions. Like, do I do this team again?
Yeah.
That kind of
We want to hit teams early in their life if possible. I don't know if we want it to be the very first thing that they do together, because most teams, especially if they're project teams or teams that live for a while and then disband, the first part of their life really needs to be understanding their purpose, understanding their goals, figuring out their roles. Yep. And as you know, we've got a great process for that called ATP, Advanced Team Performance. But we also know that as part of that, we want to get them into the behavioral piece, fairly soon after they get going. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe in the first 10 or 15% of their life, but probably not the very first thing they do. Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Good.
So anyway, so how can people learn about the dates and how do they get signed up? They go where? They go to,
Yeah. Focustools.com/certification.
well,
And
that's
you
it.
will see all the certifications that we offer, and you can sign up to get notified of our next dates. And the next one's coming up in March, so pretty quick.
Very, very good. And so they're all online, so it doesn't matter where they are, where the people are located, right?
Oh my gosh, I love when we get the ones from down under.
Yeah.
All my accents start to come out whenever we're meeting with Australia, and then we go over to Ireland, and it's just fun to really get to know people
Yep.
from all over the
Yeah,
world.
so a lot of our clients are multinational clients, and so it's not
Yeah.
uncommon to have folks from, all over the world, depending again on time zones and all that stuff. But basically, getting people to work with one another regardless of where they're located.
Right. And a lot of us are on global teams. And so it's really great to be able to have an effective workshop you could do 90 minutes to 2 hours in one session, all virtually, and bring everybody in. And we provide everybody with those resources
There you
on
go.
how to do that.
All right. That's all you know. That's all we know about the stuff we know about DiSC certification, right?
But
Yeah, almost all we know. Now, if you sign up for the class, you're going to get all we know
oh
about the stuff
gosh.
we know about DiSC.
And a little more. A little lanyap is what we like to say down here in New Orleans.
Okay, I don't know that term. A little what?
Lanyap. LAGNIAPPE.
That's not even a word, is it?
It's French. We got these French Cajuns up in here.
And what's it mean?
A little bit extra.
Oh, a little bit extra. Okay.
A little spice. A little something. A little surprise.
We go to this restaurant every now and then. It's a French bistro, and we love it because the food is authentically French, and we both like French food. But we give me that word again, lanyap. So the first time we went there, we got lanyapped. We were all down and waiting for a check, and they brought us over a couple of desserts on the house, and we're like, "This is amazing." Next time we go, we're like, I wonder if we're going to get the free desserts. They come by, would you like dessert? We go, no, because we might get the free one. Well, sure enough, yep, here comes the free one. Now, they're little tidbits, whatever they're making at the time. So it might be like a little mini cake or like a tart or some ice cream or something else French. So we brought our friends there, Patty and Steven, a few weeks ago, and we're like, should we tell them? No, let's not tell them. Okay. So we get done with our meal. Would you like dessert? And we're like, nope. We don't want to pay for it. Nope. And so they bring us the check, and we're like, where's our free dessert? And we didn't say it out loud, but like, we're not going to get the free dessert because usually they give you the dessert with the check. So Mary and I are going, oh, well, we can't tell these guys about the free desserts we've already gotten, but not getting today. So it was just right before we get up to leave.
Don't train me. They're training you like Pavlov's dog.
I know. Right before we get up to leave, the waiter comes by with 4 sample desserts that were absolutely amazing. He goes, this is compliments of, the chef, da-da-da-da-da.
Wow.
And so Patty and Steven were like, this is the best place ever. We're going.
Dave, this is why your filet mignon is like $12 more than what it should be. Because they're building those free desserts into the cost.
That's right.
What is it we were talking about the other day? The burger place. Five Guys.
Five Guys, yeah.
Five Guys. They gonna give you 2 patties for the price of one, and just get, you can have 1 patty or 2 patties or 3 patties. They're all gonna be the same price.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're gonna dump the fries in
So
the back.
now you are on the hook.
already-
After this discussion, you are on the hook of giving all of our DiSC certification participants something big time extra that they didn't expect. So let's just keep it at that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. There you go. There you have it.